What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ask a CISSP. My name is Ryan Williams, aka Rai Security Guy on LinkedIn, Twitter, Clubhouse, and IG, and I want to answer your questions. So whether it be that you're brand new to cybersecurity or you're just trying to move your way up the ladder, I'm here to help. So with that being said, things are a little bit different this week, and probably from here on out, I'm trying to integrate this show into my weekly podcast called The Other Side of the Firewall. On that podcast, my two co-hosts, Levon and Shannon, help me to address cybersecurity news, as well as highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've crossed to the other side of the proverbial firewall into those C-suite and senior level positions. So I want to definitely fold the two together because I believe they serve similar audiences, as well as it can be used as a tool to help you along your journey. So with that being said, I have two questions this week I'd like to address. The first one comes from Rashina. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. She was kind enough to ask us a question. So she says, "Hello, Ryan. It's truly been a struggle to transition into cybersecurity from healthcare without any former experience in IT. I have a degree in computer networking and cyber since May 2020. So first, congratulations. That's great. I have applied to hundreds of jobs, but haven't even received an interview. This is so discouraging. So I'm wondering how I can break through the barrier." So that's an excellent question. It's actually asked a lot. So there's this misconception with a lot of people coming into cyber, whether degrees are better than experiences are better than degrees, what I need to have so many different certifications. So to kind of dispel some of those rumors, experience is always better than a degree. So degrees do come into play. They are important as you move up the ladder. I myself have a master's in cybersecurity information assurance. I completed that after my CISSP. And before my CISSP, obviously I have decades of experience. So there's a stair step, right? You have to get into cybersecurity, whether it be working in a SOC as an analyst, or maybe some kind of hybrid where you're doing IT work that requires some security features. Like maybe you're in the networking, and you have, ACLs, you have, you're blocking ports to keep the network secure, and then you kind of work your way up. The reason I say that is because I'm a network guy by trade originally, right? So the Air Force, in its infinite wisdom, decided to bring me in and become a network technician. I love networking. Again, it is near and dear to my heart. As I moved up through networking, I started to get more into the security side. Just how do ACLs work? How does Cisco ICE work, which is like their identity service engine? Just how does cyber work in general? And then from there, I got my Network Plus through CompTIA. I received my CCNA through Cisco. And then I got my Security Plus through CompTIA, and that's really the gateway to get it in, right? So not only am I doing security aspects of the job, but I also have my Security Plus, which is a very broad certification, as definitely a foot in the door. So I'm going to foot stomp that several times as we talk between you and the other person who asked the question. So Security Plus definitely gets you in the door. But again, it's about being a practical experience, right? So I'm not, even though I was a network guy, I still moonlighted or shadowed people who were on the cyber side of the house to learn how they do what they do, as well as to use that knowledge I was gaining and to make it into practical skills. So I know you have years of healthcare experience, which is awesome. Some of that might not equate very well. Some of it may, because you have touched those applications that hospitals will be using. And perhaps you can see it from the user side as well as the security side. But again, you have to get your foot in the door, right? So perhaps you should have someone look at your resume who's already in the field. So I have not had to apply for a civilian job in almost 2 decades, right? So I will be in your shoes fairly soon. However, when talking to some of my friends who are already out of the military because they retired or separated, what have you, a lot of them said that it's really about getting your resume into the proper hands to make sure it makes sense, as well as it's about getting through the system so that the system sees your resume before a human being sees your resume. So you really have to know what's in that job, know if you have those skills for that job, and then basically uh, regurgitate what the advertisement is, but framed from your experience. I would say definitely check out the BCA. So the BCA is something that I started to interact with a few weeks ago. So that's the Black Cybersecurity Association. So they have humongous outreach. They're nonprofit opportunities. I'm going to actually click on their LinkedIn page right now. So community mentorship, education opportunities, right? And in their, I was in their clubhouse chat. There was discussion back and forth about degrees versus certifications. And for the most part, when it comes to jobs that are less than I'd say management positions. So those things where you're actually an analyst, you're actually doing the work hands on keyboard. It was all about practical skills. It's all about certifications. Obviously, Security Plus is your gateway and to all those things before you move into whatever specialty you decide to go along. With that being said, though, degrees don't really start to kick in until you get into those management positions. That's when you're competing against people who also have the same practical experience you have. And on paper, if it's apples to apples, that degree may be the separator that gets you into the position that you're looking for. So I'll just seek out your Security Plus if you don't already have it. I will also talk to my wife, and she said maybe a functional resume over a chronological resume. So that way you can highlight those key IT skills that you currently have before you get down into the healthcare stuff, because you just don't want to confuse your would-be employer, like where they have to read through the healthcare to get to the cyber. So start with the cyber, think functional versus chronological. And then I was checking out a couple pages and I found one by Boyd Clewis. I believe I'm saying his last name right. It's BoydClewis. So I went to his LinkedIn page and he talks about mistakes that people make on their resumes, and he kind of explains how you have to sell yourself properly. So you don't want to undersell yourself, obviously, but you have to make sure that what you're portraying to the would-be employer makes sense for the type of job they're trying to hire for. So I would say go check his stuff out. I can't vouch for any of the products that he's selling because I haven't bought any and used them myself. However, his videos are very informative. Next question comes from Corey. So he asks, I will be graduating in a few months with a BA in cyber. What is the best way to apply my skill set to find my first cybersecurity job? So I say, hey, congratulations, keep it going. You're definitely making big moves. If you're still working towards your BA, if your BA doesn't include some track where you get your Security Plus or another certification, I would say pursue one of those before you get done with your degree. So Security Plus is definitely a foot in the door. I definitely recommend it. It is getting tougher and tougher to achieve as the material changes. However, it gives you a very broad understanding of cyber, and then you can kind of know what path you want to go along after that. I would say seek out sponsorship within you have a close-knit community, right? So you can talk to professors, you can talk to people in the IT department, you can perhaps get sponsorship for somebody who's in the security department. Maybe you can moonlight internship or do a part-time job where you actually get to take those skills that you're learning in your education and then use them to do practical work. So that way you have a resume already built and the certifications to back it as well as the degree, and you should accelerate past that. I think that's awesome. So to both of you, the start may be kind of slow, but just push through it. Cybersecurity just continues to grow. However, the floodgates are starting to open and people are starting to pour in. There'll never be enough people probably to fill all the positions that we need. However, it will become more competitive. So just keep at it, keep up the good fight. And then if you have any more questions, hit me up in my inbox. For the rest of you, please reach out to me. I am at RYRY Security Guy. That's at RYRY Security Guy on LinkedIn, Twitter, Clubhouse, and IG. Please connect with me, follow, like, share, check out the podcast, The Other Side of the Firewall. And I just want to help you out. So ask those questions and I'll keep this rolling every week. Peace.